There have been questioned the way we portray inclusion. So let me clarify. We think that we've been very clear that inclusion under our side is exactly we provide you platform. That is to say, you can have your own party. That is to say, you can have your policy discussed in the parliament, right? We think that this has been a very clear definition of inclusion because under the current status quo, on their side of the house, exactly separatist movement didn't get this thing, and we've even at the analysis that exactly the lack of platform for these people to speak out, to actually tell why we are actually the most harmful actor in the current status quo, why we have never been listened, is exactly the thing that makes them go rogue, the thing that makes them go hostile, right? We've also portrayed to you how the extremists actually work. But under the side of the house, they try to bring a lot of status quo mechanism by saying, look, at least this FPI group can still vote for non-Jokowi politicians, for example, right? But here's the thing, right? We think that they misportray the idea of extremists because since the very beginning, we've told you that extremist group, no matter, because we think that extremist group went far beyond that, right? It's not only just creating perkumpulan FPI in the alley of the street. We've told you that there's a possibility of them to go hostile and to promote their hostile and evil idea toward the society. This is the thing that is exclusive coming from the extremists. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is exactly the idea of the principle why government should actually include this particular actor. We've told you that exactly we think that the existence of extremist group is also the failure of government in catering those people's identity, those people's interests, right? With like how because government failed to listen to them, but more importantly, we didn't even give them the chance. But what's even worse than not listening to them is exactly bashing them out, exclude them from the very first existence of the politics itself. This is what infused more rage to these particular people, right? We've told you that at least when the moment that you invite these people to come in, what's going to happen is exactly we reduce the chance for them to go hostile. This in itself is a huge benefit to begin with because we think that there is exactly the main problem that exists from this extremist group. We've told you that at least by letting them in, you can at least provide them, their interest for being listened, and we think that this is exactly a benefit. But the second thing that I'm going to talk about is exactly the idea of democracy, right? We've told you that exactly by inviting them in, you can have discussion, you can have a better democracy. But they told you a few things that, look, these people can easily play victim even if they lose. What is the difference under our side of the house? We've told you that even if you play victim, what's going to happen on the other side is exactly at least people get the exposure. This is something that exclusive coming under our side of the house because under their side, grassroots, the way that they try to invite people is exactly to grassroots policy, right? That is to say, as FPI, you try to attack people using their identity as Islam, for example. And we think that that is exactly why they can easily insert certain radical and evil identity. Under our side, at least you have to come up to the forum, you have to be shown in the media and in the TV, and at least you have to promote your identity to people. We think that we think that this itself is a huge benefit because at least there have to be a discussion. Under our side, even if you can, we think that we can provide more discussion that can lead to education. That itself is a benefit for a democratic country. Very proud to do this.